Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back here with the Barnabas Group, and I've been back a number of times just to visit since I presented about 3 years ago, and have built some good friendships here. So, as was mentioned, my name is Kevin Gwinn. My colleague Derek Familara is here with me as well today, and I invest in urban leaders. And the purpose of that for me is to change the negative narrative of our city. And so for the past 20 years of my life, I've been doing that through different entities. But 10 years ago, I founded Pursue Scholars with this intention of investing in urban students who are preparing to go to college, through the college experience, and then entering the workforce. And so we're just going to begin by looking at a quick video that will give an idea about this problem that we seek to attack.
Leadership. Leaders are those who set the agenda and direction for a group. They see problems and mobilize people around solutions. Leaders help inspire others to believe that change is possible and then cultivate an environment to help see transformation. Leadership is a vital component of any thriving family, community, church, or business. A huge problem in urban communities like Chicago is leadership drained. Too many of the best and the brightest leaders leave. Talented, ethical, and hard-working young people hear the same message by many people that they look up to. Work hard, stay out of trouble, get a good education so that you can leave the hood. They are all told to get out. We believe this is a problem. Drain of good leadership leaves a void that is too often filled by the wrong leaders or no leaders at all. At Pursue Scholars, we identify and invest in emerging urban leaders. We find young people who care about their community and have a track record of service. We strategically invest in a select group of students and seek the best possible return on that investment. That return is transformed families, schools, churches, and communities.
So as you see from the video, our organization is positioned as a leadership development organization, and I see that as much different than an outreach-based organization. In the city of Chicago, there are a lot of programs throughout our city who are very broad in reach in different communities and have a large scope. And really from that, what we do is we seek to recruit, select, train, and then support leaders who develop from those different churches, from ministries that are there, and help see the leaders be invested in so that they'll make a difference back in those communities. And that's a big part of the training as we think about training leaders, is to ask those leaders to consider a reinvestment of their time, their treasure, their talent, or even their entire life back into the community that they grew up in. And so our focus is in a sense very narrow as a result, more so. So our numbers sometimes seem smaller, and part of that is because of the deep investment. Specifically with this, 3 years ago we came and presented at the Barnabas Group, and when we were here, we presented an issue of wanting to grow and how we could impact more students, and we were talking about the idea of college partnership. And so after presenting that and connecting with some individuals here at the Barnabas Group, John Phillips helped lead organizing a map session, an entire morning, and a number of people were involved in that. Art Holton, Tom Okarma, John Paul was there as well, who's here today. So a number of people from the group came, and we talked about this idea, and we left that meeting that day, and they were saying, college partnership is your road forward as an organization, and we want to help you get there. And so a number of those individuals were key in shaping where we were headed, and definitely the most significant one was John Phillips, who said, let's start figuring out the pathway there. And so that led to us partnering with Taylor University through a national program called Act 6. And so for the last 3 years, we've been partnering with Taylor and have sent now 2 cohorts of students to Taylor on full tuition scholarships that the university is providing. And so we do the recruiting, training, selecting of students, and then work with the university to support them while they're providing the scholarships. And so it's been real exciting to see the impact, and really, as I come back here to update, this work that we're doing now, and even seeking, what we're looking to do now is expand that partnership to other colleges. And we're talking to a number of universities, both in the Chicago region and then in states in the surrounding in the Midwest. But coming back here is just a reminder that Barnabas is who helped us get there. And that's part of the reason I'm here today, is just not only to update you, but also to encourage you that your investment into these ministries that are presenting today, it does make a difference. And I just want to talk about that a little bit more specifically just with John Phillips, who's been very significant for us in moving us forward. Not only did he lead that initial map session, but coming out of that, he said, I told him about Act 6, this national network that worked with partnering colleges, and he said, well, let's figure out what do we need to do to get you and one of your keys. So my board president at the time, me and him went out to Seattle for their national convention, and John helped us kind of pave the way of figuring out how to do that in a very short time period. From there, we scheduled a meeting that fall at North Park University where the president of North Park University, Dave Parkin, who just recently retired, invited other colleges, and we had 8 other institutions, college presidents, vice presidents from other institutions, and we spent a whole day presenting this partnership opportunity that we were looking to launch in Chicago, and John was there at that meeting with us as well. Since then, as we've partnered with Taylor and have been talking to different colleges, John has been with me even in that, so we'll get together very regularly, every couple of months, and he'll say, where are we at in this thing? Who are we talking to? And what he helps me do is just think through strategy. How are we going to approach this institution? Would it be helpful for me to go with you to talk to the vice presidents or presidents in particular cases? So I share all of that, not really to toot John's horn so much, although John has not only become very much a mentor in this process for me, but also a friend of mine, a personal friend. But just to encourage you that if God is poking your heart to invest in some way in a ministry, that you can have significant impact in shaping the future of where that ministry is going. And so I come back here just encouraged and excited and thankful. And I say thank you to the Barnabas Group for inviting me back to encourage you. They did tell me that I can still ask for something today, even though I'm here primarily just to encourage you. So there are a couple of things that would be helpful for us, and if there happens to be someone in the room that could help us in the area. One of them is marketing, messaging, branding. It's something that we've grown in over the last 10 years, but what we would like is to find someone who would sit with us and look over everything we do in terms of messaging what we do, from the website to mailings that we send out to the actual way that we talk about the work that we do, and just evaluate and give us some feedback, some consulting on that. So we'd like to find someone who could help us in that way. And then the other thing is the area of internships for our scholars. One thing that we've found very important is as we support young people who are going to school and getting an education, a lot of what happens in life is not necessarily what you know, but it's who you know. And so networking and opportunity becomes very important. And our students often go to college with a smaller network than many of their peers and counterparts. And so a big part of building their resume is quality internships during their summers during college. And so we're looking to partner with some businesses, organizations that could provide opportunities that would sit on their resume to help them. And then the last thing, if you're interested, we have this question that we're wrestling with right now. It's a new thing that we've been talking about. And if anyone here wants to sit and just dialogue with us on this a bit, we're developing leaders. And one of the things that we want to do, and we're budgeting for it and planning for it, but we're trying to figure out what it's going to look like, is for each summer to plan a weekend for some of our upperclassmen, our juniors and seniors, where we take them to another city and we expose them to how to live out their faith and also their career in business. And so we want a leadership weekend that gives them, place them in. So we'd like to go to New York, we'd like to go to Atlanta, we'd like to go to LA or Dallas and help people to see what that can look like. And part of this for us is giving them some experiences that will somewhat be tailored to whoever those students are who go on that small group weekend. So if it's business, then we would like some business. If it's media communications, we'd like to give them that type of experience. If it's more social service or teaching, education. And then the other piece that we'd like to add to it is this Christian component, because we're not just developing leaders, we're developing Christian leaders. So we'd like to also, in each of those cities, connect with an urban church who can speak into what it means to live out their faith in the urban context. So we're just thinking through this. It's really a new idea, and we've been talking to different people about that. And so if that interests you and you could be helpful on that, we'd love to sit and talk with you about that. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here and the opportunity to share with you today.